Today we are recording our metal guitar tones with the Blackstar Amped 3. At a high level, there are three ways you can use the Amped 3 to record your guitar. One way is using the Amped 3 as an interface. That's right, you don't even need an interface to record with the Amped 3. It is an interface. I'm going to show you how to do that, and there's some cool features that come along with that. I'm also going to show you how to connect it to your interface if you prefer to go through the existing interface that you have. Lastly, we are going to use the Amped 3 through a real cab, mic it up, and I'm going to show you how to record your guitar that way using the Amped 3. Before we get started, this video is sponsored by Blackstar, and I want to give a shout out and a huge thank you to everyone at Blackstar that I've been working with on this project here. It has been so cool recording with this thing. Actually, I'm using the Amped 3 to finish up my new album, mainly the guitar solos. More videos to come in the near future. We're going to start out by using the Amped 3 as an interface, and this is a really cool feature because you've got some additional options as far as tones and even recording the DI track with one performance. The first thing you want to do is connect your Amped 3 to your computer. So you've got a cable that comes with the Amped 3 unit. You're going to plug one end to the back of your Amped 3 like you see here on screen. The other end of that cable is just going to plug into your USB input on your computer. This is going to allow you to not only use the Amped 3 as an interface, but also give you access to the Blackstar Architect software. Now on that note, and if you have the unit and haven't done this, you'll need to download the Blackstar Architect software. And Blackstar allows you to create your own login and profile on their website there. You can register your products and you can also download the software. You'll want to specifically look for Blackstar Architect. Now I actually have a blog post on my website that covers all of this in detail and more on how to use the Blackstar Amped 3. So I will leave a link to that in the description of this video. Once you have your Amped 3 connected to your computer and you've got the software downloaded, of course you can go in and tweak all your tones and save patches and all that good stuff. At this point you want to go into your DAW. Remember, we're using the Amped 3 as an interface, so you'll want to find out where those settings are in your specific DAW. In my case, I'm using PreSonus Studio One, so we'll go to Preferences here, then we'll go to Audio Setup. Now you can see there is playback device and recording device. In this case, and this is probably the case for most people watching this video here, most of you already have your interface, you already have your monitors connected to that, so you'll want to leave that as your playback device so you can hear. The one thing you want to change is the recording device, and here is where you will select the Amped 3. Let's jump into the DAW real quick. I want to give you a close-up on how you can easily record multiple sounds, including a DI track with just one performance. We've got our guitar track up. We're ready to go. I've got sound. Okay, we've got sound. That's the tone that I have dialed in with the Blackstar Amped 3 here, that nice overdrive tone. What I want to show you first before we record this, and we're going to record also two more sounds along with this one performance here, I want to show you the input-output audio setup here, okay? As you can see on screen here, the Amped 3, there it is. We've got multiple inputs here, and that's where our different sounds are going to come from. So basically what we'll do is we'll create another track. Let's do that right now. Okay, let's create one more track. We've got guitar 1, that's my main tone. I'm going to go down here. I'm just going to duplicate this track to create guitar 2. We're going to turn this on, but I'm going to change the input here. Let's change it to this one right here. What sound are we getting from this? Okay, just a dry signal. So that's our DI, okay? Pretty cool. So we can record that, okay, while playing the tone, and we're going to record this all in a second here, right? Everything together. But we've got the DI track that we can record in case we want to reamp that, or you know, whatever we want to do with it. We can do whatever with it, okay? So let's create one more track. I want to show you one more thing, then we'll record this little piece here, okay? So we're going to duplicate that track. We've got guitar 3. Let's go to this next input down here. What do we have? Now, I don't think you guys can quite hear that, but what it is just the amp. Let me turn this up just a little bit. Actually, let me turn the track level up here so you guys can hear that. I don't know how well you can hear that, guys, but that is just the amp itself without any effects, without the reverb. I've actually got the reverb turned on. No reverb, no effects, and no cab simulation. So it's canceling out the cab rig. So you've basically got an amp, the Blackstar Amp, right? The Amp 3 amp, but without the bells and whistles. So if you want to use another IR with that, well, you've got that track to do that with. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to click all 3 tracks here to record them. And guys, I'm just going to make something up as I always do on my channel. So we'll just come up with something. Okay, pretty cool. So again, we've got 3 tracks recorded. We've got our main sound there. Let me mute the other tracks here real quick. We've got our main sound, okay. Okay, let's mute that track there. Let's go with the second one that we recorded just now. This is this one. Okay, we've got our DI track there. Let's mute that track and let's open up and listen to just this last one here. I've got to turn the volume up. That nasty just amp sound, but again, that's the track that if we want to add another IR, well, we can do that. So again, you've got 3 things going on here. You've got the normal track, call it normal, and that's the one that you dialed in, the tone, probably the tone you want to use, but you've got the DI track in case you want to reamp, or that DI track, you could drag another plugin into that track, right? And then you've got that tone from that one performance. You got a different tone for that one performance there. And of course, again, you've got the track with just the amp, bypassing the cab effects and all that good stuff. The second way to record with the Amp 3 that I want to show you is by not using the Amp 3 as your interface, but plugging your Amp 3 into your existing interface. And this is actually how I use it most of the time. Despite all the cool things that you can do with the first way I just shared with you, I just find this to be a little bit more simplistic. So let's go back into our DAW. I need to change my settings, my audio setup settings, to where the playback device and the recording device are both set at my interface, which is the PreSonus Quantum 2 in this case. Now we just need to run an instrument cable from our Amp 3, and you're going to plug it into what's called the line out. It'll say line out / phones. And of course, the other end of that will go directly into your audio interface. One thing I want to mention is you can still keep your Amp 3 connected via USB. This is going to allow you to use the software to still change your tones and adjust your settings and so forth. The only thing left to do now is just open up that guitar track and start recording. And again, guys, just on a personal level here, I prefer to use it this way. It's just a little bit easier for me. I don't have to worry about constantly going back in and changing my settings. Like, let's say I want to record my bass or my vocals. Well, I'd have to switch my settings back over to my interface. And if I want to record guitar again using the Amp 3 as interface, well, I'd have to switch it back, the recording device. I mean, really not a big deal, but I just like to share my personal preferences with you guys, even if it doesn't make sense. I mean, who wouldn't want the options of having multiple tones in the DI track in one take? Again, I have been able to dial in a tone very quickly that I really like with the Amp 3, and I just like to go with that. That leads us to the next way you can record your Amp 3, and this is kind of monstrous here in my opinion. We're gonna run the Amp 3 through a real cab and we're gonna mic it up. On the back of your Amp 3 device, you can see it on screen here, there are 2 outputs for speaker cabinets. Now, notice there's one for 8 ohm, there's one for 16 ohms. You don't want to connect 2 speakers at one time. It's not designed for that. You only want to go with either the 8 or the 16, and that will be determined by what your cabinet is, okay? You'll need to look on the back of your cabinet. If your cabinet says 8 ohm, we'll make sure that that's going 8 ohm to 8 ohm, right? Or if it's 16, you know, go 16 to 16. Kind of obvious there, but I just wanted to point that out. It's not designed to be used with 2 cabs, just 1 cab. Next, we're gonna mic it up. So in this case, I've got a Shure SM57 microphone, so I'm gonna mic this up, and I've already got that mic cable running into my PreSonus interface. One quick note about using the AMP3 with a real cab. Check your volumes. In other words, you might want to turn your master volume all the way down first, or your channel volume, whichever one, and then just gradually crank that thing up. Remember, also the AMP3 has different wattages. You can go to 1 watt, 20 watts, and 100 watts. In this case, what you just heard, I was using the 20 watts, and you can see where my volume is here. It's not super loud. I mean, it's loud enough to, you know, be kind of loud, and of course capture a good signal going into the studio here. But just be aware that you have those options with the different wattage settings. In other words, if you're in a small room like I am, I don't recommend using 100 watts, the 100 watt option, and then of course cranking it up, because yeah, it's probably not going to work out so well. So again, I have it on 20 watts, and I've actually recorded through several different cabinets with this unit. I actually have a video up here. Me and my buddy Riff with Cliff, we tested the AMP3 through 3 different cabinets, and we left it on the 20 watt setting the entire time. Got a really good tone and just got a really good capture from that. Again, guys, don't forget to check out the link in the description if you want to learn more about the unit and how to use it. I've got a really nice blog post written up for you. And guys, leave me any questions. If I missed anything in this video, if you have the Blackstar unit or you're thinking about getting it, hey, drop a question in the comments below. I'd be happy to read those and answer those the best I can. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Another shout out and thank you to the folks at Blackstar. It has been an absolute pleasure and honor working with the Blackstar team on this thing. So a really exciting moment for me and for this channel here. Guys, until the next video, as always, keep it metal.